All right. Hi, everyone. Welcome. We are live, and this is the most excited I have been all year. I want to welcome Stephanie Brown is here with me today, and so is Babette Maxwell. We are going to be talking about this brand spanking new U.S. Military Spouse Chamber of Commerce.
And this is the excited. Sorry.
That launch today.
Most excited we've been all year. It's the first day of the year, Jamie. You mean it's the most,
most excited in the last 12 hours.
It is. It's the most excited I've been today and all year.
all year. Okay. All last year. Yeah.
In the last year.
Your whole entire life.
Wow. So we're going to be talking today about the chamber. Before we do that, I would like to introduce, or like each of us to introduce ourselves and our role that we play at the new chamber, how we met, and all of that stuff. So Stephanie, since you're the CEO of this thing, why don't you go first, and then we'll do Babette and myself, and then we can talk about the chamber, what we do, what we want to do, and how you can get involved.
Sounds like a plan. So I am the Chief Entrepreneur Officer. Let's get serious here. And this has been, well, let me introduce myself. So for those of you that don't know me, Stephanie Brown, I am a military spouse and have been for as long as the dinosaurs roamed the earth. I grew up in the military. My dad was a Vietnam veteran, served 20 years. He actually got out, when he got out here in California, he started a music store, because he was an incredible musician. So I used to work at the store after school and on the weekends, and it's really kind of where I came down with entrepreneuritis. There's no cure for it, but yeah, I'm just owning it. And then I became a military spouse, and then I raised two boys in this crazy life. So really, when I met Tom, I owned a business in Washington, D.C. And then, as so many of us know and have had happen to us, I became unemployed and unemployable, and really realized that, traditional 9-to-5 jobs were tough to find, and the pay was typically bad, and so on and so forth. So I kind of just said, hey, this isn't okay with me, and I'm going to, start my own gig. And, we see a lot of spouses today doing that, and that's really, the basis for the brand new Military Spouse Chamber of Commerce. So we are going to knock this out of the park. And we brought in, I have to say, some of not just my good friends, but people that I've known for a while who have been just incredible trendsetters and rock stars in this space, period, hands down. Jamie, we have a couple that aren't with us this morning, but Babette, I'm queuing you up, girl.
Oh, good.
Tuning in from Texas.
Yes. So I think I've known Stephanie forever. Like, I can't remember a time where I haven't known her. So like put a date on it, but it's been a while. So I'm Babette Maxwell. I'm in Texas, which if you've known me for longer than 45 seconds, I will tell you that I'm from Texas. I have a very similar kindred soul type life with Stephanie. My dad was also a Vietnam veteran in the Army. He served 2 tours, has a Purple Heart. He passed away on the 4th of July, which is pretty extraordinary. And y'all can go ahead. See, this is how life is, right? Because
exactly.
Our gas went out today. So the gentleman that's fixing our propane and turning our heat back on.
Welcome to the new year.
Right when we started. That's just how it goes, man. I mean, that's everybody's life. And the husband's gone, right?
Of course.
So I met my husband. I owned a horse barn in San Antonio, Texas, and was teaching horse riding lessons to put myself through college. My bachelor's is in mechanical engineering, and I have an emphasis in a master's in thermodynamics and heat transfer. So I didn't start off as an entrepreneur in the sense that I started my own business, but what my background taught me was how to be a problem solver. And so when I started Military Spouse Magazine, it was absolutely zero publishing experience. I'm not a journalist by trade or a publisher by education. I'm a thinker, and I'm a problem solver, and I'm a find solution-oriented person. And so with
wait. You skimmed right over that. You founded Military Spouse Magazine. Okay.
Totally
Just
did,
gotta throw
yeah.
that out there. Sorry.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So, and no publishing experience, no background experience in magazines, but we started the publication with a completely virtual staff back when virtual staffs were not cool and companies really shied away from them. And, you know, I remember having to be on, like, have a desk cam so people knew I was working, you know, didn't want to hear your kids in the background, didn't want to see your gas guy lighting your, you know, pilot light, you know, none of that was permissible at all. I mean, the most high tech we got was owning a facsimile machine. So, and as things went on, you know, the magazine was hugely successful very early. We were profitable in our second year of business, which is absolutely unheard of in the publishing industry.
Wow.
All team, virtual staff, all military spouses.
Privacy contents have been.
Oops. Sorry.
Is that you? See, that's
Yeah.
For once, it's not me. For once,
I'm keeping you on your toes. Go.
Yeah, exactly. So, and I sold a publication in 2006 to the company that still owns it, Victory Media. And under them, I started the Military Spouse of the Year Award program in 2007. That was recently purchased. That program was purchased from under the Victory and Military Spouse umbrella by Armed Forces Insurance, which is how most people know the award now, which is the Armed Forces Insurance Military Spouse of the Year Award, which is a mouthful, however. So it's been around for quite some time. And it's managed to really launch a lot of other military spouses into the entrepreneur, nonprofit organization space, which has been hugely, I mean, to me, that's really the passion and the lifeblood of what I've spent my life doing. And then when my husband retired in 2014, I took a couple of years off. He'd been in for 24 years. He flies for Delta now. He was a pilot in the Navy. The move here to San Antonio was my 32nd.
That's not fair.
Yeah, 32. And I've lived overseas for 10 years. But along the way, we've owned a lot of different businesses, some that are military related, some that aren't. I have 4 other businesses that I own and have trademarked and just haven't done anything with, but have the business plans written for, just kind of holding on to them for a rainy day sometime. So I started work, was recruited to come work for Mil Spouse Fest, and I worked there for a couple of years. And then I went to work for the Military Influencer Conference. And so what's my specialty? My specialty is problem solving. My specialty is finding money and helping organizations, businesses, entrepreneurs become solvent and stay solvent. I mean, my business was founded in 2001 and it's still around today, long after I left it in 2015.
Yeah.
So, I mean, and that's how I had always hoped to leave it. I never wanted to leave it where I had no choice but to leave. It was my husband retired, and that's really, to me, something that needs to be done by more of an active duty bend. And we've moved on to retired life, which had somebody told me how awesome being retirees would be, I would have been like, oh, we should have retired way sooner. So don't be afraid. My military spouses out there, don't be afraid when the day comes. I was terrified because when you, I mean, I'll never forget, we lived in Fort Worth when my husband retired, and I went to the front gate. And of course, now they have the scanners, right? Where they scan your ID, and it's like scan, bam. And I'm like, what? He's like, you need to get your ID, man. This is your active duty. This, you know, your husband's not active duty anymore. I'm like, oh my God, I'm a freaking poser. So, but I had to go get my retiree ID. It was like heartbreaking. And, you know, I've never not been an active duty dependent. That was the very first time. So, and I think that when my husband retired, was the first time someone in my family was not serving on active duty since before World War I.
Wow, that's crazy. That's crazy. Well, welcome.
I'm excited. This is going to be really exciting.
I've been after Babette and to work with Babette for a very, very long time, and she finally just gave up and said, "Okay, Stephanie, you know, quit hounding me. I'm on board." And we don't have a couple of folks with us this morning, and I know we want to jump into what the chamber is. And so we want to kind of quickly recognize Beth Conlon. A lot of you guys probably know Beth Conlon. She's got a long history working in and advocating for military spouses too, but she was with Blue Star Families for a long time, and now she's over working on military spouse initiatives at Amazon Military. So we were able to cajole her to be really part of this founding group. So she couldn't join us today. She's actually taking her sister to the airport. But hi, Beth. She said she'd try to call in. And then we have Hannah Green, who couldn't join us. I think she's hopefully going to be posting a link to the website in the box below. But Hannah is a new military spouse. I think she's been a spouse for about a year or less than a year, and her husband just graduated.
We get to corrupt her?
I know, we are. Her husband just graduated from Top Gun. So, if you hear the theme song of Top Gun in the background, you'll know why that is. Hannah is amazing. We're really, really lucky and excited to have her on board. And then Christine Gallagher, who, we've known for a long time. She's another one of those forces to be reckoned with. She's an entrepreneur, started 2 businesses. She's worked in the DOD. I mean, she's an advocate, right? Extraordinaire, just an incredible individual. And I think, unless I'm missing somebody, that's who we are. That's the key group as we start out on this new journey in 2021. So let's jump into what the Military Spouse Chamber of Commerce is. Jamie, wanna?
Yeah, sure. So we see a need in this space. There's many organizations that serve traditional military spouse employment initiatives. My own.
All right, hi everyone.
Included.
Welcome. We are live, and this
I
is
hear my own.
I love it when stuff like that happens. It's so real life. I mean, it's just real life. Sorry, Jamie, go ahead.
So traditional employment is being handled, but what we know is that the needle is not moving. Since 2012, statistically, the DoD survey that just released recently that covered 2019 and 2018, we know that statistically military spouse employment has not changed. And so what we found through the Blue Star Families survey results last year was that 48% of military spouses turn to self-employment and business ownership for viable employment opportunities. And then through Stephanie's The Rosie Network survey that she did, there was a very handsome number of military spouse business owners that earned 6 figures or more in their careers. And so what we know as the chamber is that economically we are here to facilitate smart business. We want to economically empower military spouse business ownership. And our flagship service offering, which I'll let Stephanie talk about, is the brand new, historic, never done before, military spouse owned enterprise certification. This is the first time military spouse owned is going to become a recognized entity in private sector. And we have been working for quite a long time on this certification. So Stephanie, why don't you tell us about how the certification came to be and who you've been working on with it, and tell us all.
Yeah, and before I do that, and I promise I'll keep it quick, because we really want to answer your questions. We want to hear from you. So put a comment or a question in the, I don't know, is it considered a chat box or whatever, in the comment section below. So really the certification began years ago, and I was fortunate enough to work with a gentleman over at USAA who I've remained good friends. He's an incredible advocate for military spouses. Hi, Wayne. And we started on this, having this conversation about how do we actually recognize who is a military spouse owned business. So there are a number of certifications out there, to include the VAs, right, for the CVE certification for veteran owned enterprises. There's also women owned through WeBank. There's minority owned. There's service disabled veteran owned, but there's never been a certification for a military spouse owned business. And why is that important? Well, it's important because for a number of reasons. One, and I'll let Jamie jump in a minute and kind of go through why you should get certified. It's free. But I'm going to talk specifically about the B2B, because that was really how this conversation with USAA began. We started researching every other certifying agency out there, NVBDC and others, and determining what the best practices were, right? What were they asking for? How were they verifying that it was owned and operated by, say, a woman-owned business or a veteran-owned business? So what we're rolling out is no joke. I mean, this is standard operating procedure for top level certifications recognized by the biggest corporations in the country. And if you are looking, our goal is we will be bringing corporations to the table, right? So like a USAA, like other companies that we are actually talking to now, who have made a commitment to spending procurement dollars, supplier diversity dollars on veteran, minority, women-owned. And now, our goal is to get them to sign up to track and include military spouse-owned businesses in their spend. Yay! So whether you're a marketing company, whether you're, an electrician, whether you're an IT company, whether you code, do interior design, I mean, anything and everything a company would need to operate their business, and you're a military spouse owned and operated company, then there is no reason why you should not go through the process. And we're here to help you. We'll walk you through it. We'll give you sample docs. I mean, whatever you need to get certified as a military spouse owned business. We are changing the landscape, period. It's no more, hey, just go shop military spouse owned, which is great. We all should be doing that. I do it all the time. But this is really, the certification is opening the door for spouses to do business with companies. That's a much bigger spend than a lot of other categories like B2C, business to consumer, business to government. B2B spend is huge. So that's what the certification is all about.
Awesome. I'll just chime in and say as well, we have 2 levels of certification. The levels are, there's a simplified version. If you're a military spouse, if you're a freelancer, if you own a small business, but maybe you don't do B2B enterprise, this one is easier to do. There's fewer required documents, and it's just to be proud that you're a military spouse-owned business. Hang the military spouse-owned business badge up on your website, and just to be proud of it. And then there is the, very in-depth, you intend to become a B2B military spouse-owned enterprise and utilize your certification to try to compete for those private sector supplier diversity spend dollars. So when you go to the Military Spouse Chamber website, it's I saw it posted up in the comments earlier, milspousechamber.org. You click the certification tab on the menu, and you can read all about the certification, how to apply, and all the required documentation. And again, we want military spouse and businesses to succeed. We aren't going to put the gavel down and say no to you. We're going to work with you and try to make sure that you are squared away. And also, I'll just say this, for right now anyway, it's free to apply. Most of these other organizations charge hundreds of dollars to apply for their certs. And at least for now, it's free.
Yeah. And higher. Sorry, Jamie. You're cutting out a little bit. I'm not sure if that's just me, but I know you're visiting family. So really the question is, why wouldn't you get certified, right? Why wouldn't you get certified? As Jamie said, there are 2 tiers there. So there's the, self-owned, privately owned, simplified process. And then there's the one, that's if you're a medium or large size company and you want to do business with, let's say, USAA or Johnson & Johnson or grow with Google and many, many, many others, or Amazon. That's a different process. But again, we are not just going to go, hey, here's the process, go do it, and leave you hanging out there. We're here to help you. If you get hung up or you have any questions, we are building out the whole back end to provide you with sample documents and definitions and resources, and we're here to answer questions. Yeah.
Curriculum, that brings a good point. So we are, the certification is our flagship service offering, but it ain't our only service offering, right?
Right.
So we have a whole members only resource portal, and we aren't reinventing the wheel and becoming the resource provider for everything. We're collaborating and we're partnering with vetted and trusted organizations that can help you as a military spouse business owner confidently run, operate, and scale your business. And even if you get to a point where you need to dissolve your business, we have resources for that as well. So in time, please give us some grace. Today's day 1 of us having launched. in time, the resource library is going to be very robust, and anything and everything you could possibly need as a military spouse entrepreneur, we will have it. So we are the one-stop shop for anything you need if you're a military spouse business. And we want to hear from you too. Drop in the comments and tell us what you need help with. Some things we've heard about already are things like, I need help figuring out how to get employee benefits insurance for my people. I need help with how to, file my taxes and things like that. And additionally, I want to just emphasize here, we also include freelancers. To be a freelancer, you have to market, package up, and sell yourself as a business. And if you are a freelancing military spouse and you work in the gig economy, join the chamber. It's free. We have resources for you.
Yeah. And I think, it is, and Babette, feel free to jump in anytime, but I think, we've done enough surveys. We've been in this space long enough that, the kind of common denominators we are very aware of what they are: marketing, funding, etc. And our goal is to provide you with, the absolute best. And if that means, well, including funding. I mean, we're working right now on a number of things for 2021. Not only some pitch competitions where you can, win some funding for your business, but also avenues of funding that are trusted, right? That you don't have to take a risk on, that we have vetted. There's good money out there and there's bad money, and we all know that. How do you, if you're considering,
and there's good alliances and there's bad alliances.
Absolutely.
And I think that one of the things that, after being an entrepreneur in this space for 20 years and an entrepreneur most of my life, what's important is that it's trusted, and that in addition to that, there's experience. And the experience is provable, I guess, where you look at somebody's credentials and what they've accomplished and what they've done, and there's a pattern of success, and being able to rely on those patterns, I think is really, really important when you're looking for something credentialed and certified, as opposed to just blessing it with, holy water or something. It's something that when you're going through a certification process, you can trust the vetting, you can trust the process. And I think that when we look at something like the U.S. Military Spouse Chamber now, we have something that's been missing in this community for at least as long as I've been in here. So that's 2 decades. And so for me, it's really reaching this pinnacle where we can look back on, how the space has evolved and what the needs in the space are now, alongside what is sort of contemporary business practices, and now in a post-COVID world, how that's going to impact how small businesses actually change. But being able to look at all of that, and through an experienced military spouse lens, as opposed to what's best for the United States at large and small business owners at large, I think is a really important distinction.
Absolutely. And advocacy, right? Being able to take this to the hill, and fight and advocate on behalf of recognizing military spouses, and especially spouse entrepreneurs and business owners, as a category that is worthy of focus and funding and support. We sacrifice too, we serve too. And I think that, we all know the stats that, transitioning veterans who have an employed spouse report, or 70% of them report a much better transition out of the military than when their spouse is unemployed. If you're a spouse, all these statistics. But a lot of people, sadly, up on the Hill who are policymakers are not aware or don't know that military spouses are turning toward entrepreneurship and launching businesses in record numbers. We're not just talking small numbers here. We're talking potentially 50%, half of military spouses are self-employed, interested in entrepreneurship, or are currently business owners. We need a seat at the table. We need a trusted environment that we can go to So we're going to hold focus groups. We're going to hold closed sessions where you can talk to me, you can talk to Jamie or Beth, how to do business with on Amazon with Babette, who's got, probably more experience in entrepreneurship and running successful businesses and selling them than I do. So it's really, and partnering, like Jamie said, we're not going to be reinventing the wheel. Obviously, I'm still the CEO of the Rosie Network, which is near and dear to my heart. I'll be a Rosie for the rest of my life. So Rosie's Service to CEO program, you'll have access to that and our subject matter experts through the chamber. It's really meant to be, a place where everything that you see has been vetted. Every funding opportunity has been vetted. Every other resource training opportunity and group out there has been vetted. We are only going to be, doing what we believe we would have wanted when we started our businesses, and more importantly, what spouses need today. It was very different when I started my business. We didn't have internet. We didn't have computers. We didn't have cell phones, but
word processors.
Yeah. Word processors.
Where it's like,
I remember those.
We have a question. I have a question in the comments. So Jennifer is asking, hey, what about for military spouses who want to start a nonprofit? Do we have resources?
Hey, the chamber
Rosie
is a nonprofit. It's C6. So it is, yeah, absolutely. Nonprofits can make a profit. Don't, and I'm happy to lead some, conversations in small groups with spouses that are starting a nonprofit or interested in starting or growing a nonprofit. Be prepared that I will tell you whenever I talk to spouses that want to start a nonprofit, the first thing I do is try to convince them. There are many other avenues to doing good, that it doesn't mean it has to be a nonprofit. So as long as you're willing to listen to that spiel, I will give you and tell you and share everything I know, every mistake I made.
Well, now you bring up a really courageous point there too, Stephanie. And I think that that's another point of clarity with the Military Spouse Chamber of Commerce is we're not shying away from failures, and we're not pretending like failures don't happen. What we are offering is the experience and how to deal with them and course corrections to help make those experiences turn into solvent businesses. There's no, I'll be the first to, it's like, do you want the whole list of mistakes or just the top 10? Because there's like, if you're not making mistakes, you're not trying hard enough, right? But what we're here to do is help mitigate some of those. So it's not just keeping you from preventing mistakes, it's helping you learn from them and then helping you correct them so that we can get everybody back on track and working towards, what their future goals and strategies are. And I think that that's a really important distinction is like, we're not here to avoid what we did wrong. We're here to talk about what we did wrong and hopefully guide people along the way to not make the same mistakes we did or provide some sort of context for how they can avoid it in the future. But not shying away from that, I think, is a really important growth curve for this space and something that I think that military spouses have long not avoided, but just maybe not highlighted. And that is how to make mistakes and how to make them with dignity and how to move on and correct from them. And hopefully join the ranks of the chamber to help others from doing the same.
Yeah, I couldn't put it better myself. Because, as far as I'm concerned, Rachel, you've made mistakes. We've all made mistakes. We've all made bad decisions. And but it's really, if we can share anything that we've been through that'll help you avoid it and not be afraid of it and own your mistakes. Own it. Don't hide it. Don't try to, blow over it or pretend you're something you're not, or, it's okay. Look, we live in a very unique time, but we also live in this is a very unique community. And anybody, as far as I'm concerned, that it isn't coming to this table to help others, don't come. Yeah. We want to see all of the spouses out there helping to lift each other up, because the only thing that's going to impact unemployment and underemployment for spouses is if we choose and make that solemn commitment every day and starting today. Right. We're here to lift each other up. There's no you know, there's no negativity, no comparison, no judgment, no, you know, competition. Come with an open heart and an open mind, and I promise you, you will walk away, hopefully, a better person and a better business owner.
Yeah, and building that circle through honesty and integrity, I think is sort of the foundation. And you know, helping others without, I mean, this is a very candid moment and probably not one of those things I planned on saying. However, I feel like, you know, the moment is right. So I think that in this particular space, there's always a bend on competition, and sometimes that can be really unhealthy. And I think that if we're coming from a place of honesty and integrity, I think that everybody has a better chance of success, and not just immediate success, but long-term success as well, which is really what everyone is after. And I think that, you know, you don't have to be friends with everybody that you're connected with, but you do have to be honest. And I think that it's very important that you act with integrity. And there's no such thing as, this is my contact, this is your contact. This is our space. We're working to make our space better and more successful for all of us, not just a few of us, you know? And I think that is something that is what really drew me to this organization, was that was abundantly clear from the onset. And it's, I think that it is an extremely valuable pillar of what will ultimately create long-term and rapid success for this organization. And it's something that I really feel like is a magnetic draw for me, because, you know, as you get to where we are, 2 decades post starting a business, you realize there's a lot of information, a lot of help that you can provide, and you want to do that, but you want to be honest about it and say, you know, I really wish that, you know, I had done this or this differently. And, you know, that can be another conversation for like the things Babette wishes she had done differently, because that's a long laundry list. And there's no, and it is, I mean that in all sincerity. I mean that in all sincerity, you know, like I wish, as an example, I wish I hadn't taken criticism so hard, especially very early. I wish that I had the mind and the heart of a 50-year-old like I am now when I was 30. Because I feel like my own competitive nature may have gotten in my way a little bit. I mean, ultimately, my business was extraordinarily successful and well into this at 7 figures, and that's a big banner for me. But, you know, I'll be very honest, I didn't do it alone. I had a lot of help. The company that bought Military Spouse Magazine was the best thing that could have happened to me and to this space, because without them, the entire landscape of military spouses would be completely different today. Yeah. You know, and I think that having that honest discussion about, yes, I founded it, but I was never, ever doing this alone, ever, not for one moment. And I think that, you know, giving credit where credit is due is a really important component of having integrity.
I had that conversation this morning with another military spouse. Hey, Holly.
We got another question or two. So Jennifer, if you're still watching, Jennifer, I wanted to clarify one more thing about nonprofits. We have the certification for small and for large business. For nonprofits, you can also apply for the certification. There's a little bit of extra documentation nonprofits need to submit, because nonprofits require a few certain things legally that we must see. So Jennifer, if you're still watching and you're planning on applying for the certification, yes, as a nonprofit, you can do that. We just need a couple of extra things for you, and there's a list there on our website for you.
And just know that a nonprofit is not owned by anybody. There are no shares. There's no. So we recognize that, and you know, if somebody else comes in to run that nonprofit that you founded, you'll just need to let us know. And if they're a military spouse, then that's great too. So let's get to some questions and comments. And then I want to make sure that I don't forget that we kind of highlight some of the stuff that's going to be on the website and some of the stuff that we have rolling out. First and foremost, and we have dubbed 2021 as Year of the Military Spouse Entrepreneur. Maybe I'm jumping ahead of myself here. Sorry. We've dubbed it Year of the Military Spouse Entrepreneur. So if you haven't seen this issue, Year of the Military Spouse Entrepreneur, there it is. That's us on the rooftop of Amazon. Amazon headquarters in Crystal City with the Pentagon in the background. So big shout out to Amazon for hosting us and making us feel welcome. And but so Military Families Magazine, it's on the shelves now. You can go to their website and read it. There's information in there about the website and what we're doing.
We love you, Bianca.
Yeah. Yes, we love the team over at Military Families Magazine. They are pros. They are a lot of them are spouses. Just blown away by the level of professionalism and support that they've given us. So big shout out to them. If you're not following Military Families Magazine, shame, shame, shame. You should be. They have great stories and articles in there. And in fact, we'll be doing a what do you call it? An event or something like that next week.
Live. We are going to go live on the Military Families Magazine Facebook page on January 6th. And it's going to be a more structured version of us introducing the chamber. It's going to be an interview format with them asking us questions about the chamber. So join us on the 6th. Follow the Military Families Magazine and the Mil Spouse Chamber on Facebook so you can see that when it comes up. We also have a question. And I'm going to read it, Steph. So,
sorry.
This is
I'm totally showing off swag here, right? So I have come to learn through my kids that stickers are all the rage. So for the first 20 spouses that join the chamber, we will be sending you the sticker, Military Spouse Chamber of Commerce. So, and that's the little baby. That thing is awesome.
I want a sticker.
I know. I'm sending out stickers. So you guys, everybody will get stickers. We want everybody to get out there and self-promote or promote
I can put it on my monster truck.
Yeah, exactly. Okay, to the questions, Jamie.
Okay. One, I cannot see the name of this person. They must not be connected to me on LinkedIn, but it says, for business who want to hire military spouses, will you be offering resources to teach them how to better recruit and retain military spouses? And I'll also say, yes, we've already got that built into our resource pool. So whatever your name is, LinkedIn user, yes, we already have that. And we've got a partnership coming with Hiring Our Heroes, and they have a big platform for that. And that's what I do. So if you ever have questions about hiring military spouses, just feel free to ask them to me in LinkedIn and send me a DM.
And spouse jobs.
Okay.
Casey, our good friend, fellow military spouse, Deb. Big shout out to you.
On the lake right now. She's actually on Lake St. Louis on her boat.
Oh, good for her. We all should be on the lake somewhere, but we're not. Although we're here with you, so that makes me very happy. So yes, we will. We are creating what we call an opportunity board, and that opportunity board will list companies that want to do business with you, what opportunities they have, right? So if they're looking to fill in their procurement space, 50 different opportunities, those will be listed on the opportunity board for you to peruse if you're a member. If you have jobs and you're looking to recruit, then there'll be an opportunity board there for you as well. Again, we are not looking to reinvent the wheel. We are partnering only with the best vetted organizations that operate as we do, integrity being first and foremost. We also have, sorry, more questions?
Yeah, more questions. Lindsay is asking how to join and register. I'll answer that for you. So on our website, milspousechamber.org, it was linked in the comments somewhere. And if Hannah is still watching, if you don't mind linking to the Mil Spouse Chamber /membership page. If you go to the website, click membership, it's literally a form. It takes under a minute to fill out. Once you register, then you have access to the entire members only membership resources in the backside of the website. Right. Once you get access to that members only page, you'll have the ability to jump into your member portal, adjust the information on your account, see the resource library, see the opportunity board. And also we have a place where you can submit, if you are a military spouse-owned business, you can submit a form to us requesting to be featured as a new member of the Military Spouse Chamber. So we're going to utilize our
awesome platform
to
Yeah. I mean, we are going to be rocking your business from the rooftops.
Mhm.
Our goal is to promote your business so that's a big part of what we're going to be doing. We'll include a calendar of events, not only for the Year of the Military Spouse Entrepreneur. Hashtag is 2021 MilSpouseBiz, B-I-Z. It's in the comments. Share your story. Tell us about your business and include the hashtag. Anybody that does that, we will be resharing out through our network as well. So that's just an automatic instant amplifier. We will have speakers. We will do feature stories all about military spouses throughout this year. Any ideas that you have about how we can celebrate and raise awareness, which is what the social media campaign, Year of the Military Spouse Entrepreneurs, is really all about. Telling your stories and raising awareness. If you've got a story or know somebody that you think we should be talking to or about, please let us know. That's our job. So
the earlier the better. The earlier the better. So for example, I was drafting out our yearly marketing calendar and I was like, is there any military spouses that make chocolate for Valentine's Day? Because I need to push their business out on Valentine's Day, right?
Yeah.
If you have any ideas, send them to me. I want to promote your business. That's the whole point of the chamber, guys, is to promote you. So
well, just imagine every time you've ever walked into a business that has a sign on it that says veteran owned. What we're talking about now is people walking in and seeing military spouse owned and seeing it on your website and it's been certified. It's not something we're just creating as a sticker on your website. It's something that's actually been vetted and certified. Mm-hmm. And then taking that one step further with the future, declaring military spouses a protected working class, just like veterans are.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, those are our goals. That's what we're doing. Those are our ambitions. Those are the things that we're pursuing. The things that should have been done long ago and just weren't.
That's happening now. A home for it. These disparate initiatives to fight for spouses already exist, but we are providing what we're considering to be the home for this.
Home for it. That's right.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. I'm really excited. I mean, I wish this had existed when I started my business for the first time, but and these two ladies don't know it. And Beth, I've kind of given a heads up, but Christine and others, they don't know, but we are going to be hosting small working groups through the chamber where you get to pick Babette's. If you are in what I call modern media, if you're a blogger, a podcaster, a writer, you want to do a magazine or an article, or how do you monetize that? We're going to give you an opportunity to pick Babette's brain. Same with hiring. If you want to get into the HR business or whatever, you'll have an opportunity to pick Jamie's brain. If you want to do business with Amazon, obviously we are putting Beth out there, who is extraordinary. And then, it's really finding subject matter experts and individuals who get it and who are committed and who are invested in your success. If you want to start a nonprofit, I mean, I don't know if I'm the smartest person on the planet for that. I mean, what I didn't know about starting a nonprofit could literally fill an encyclopedia when I started the Rosie Network. But maybe that gives me a unique position to actually talk about, how to do it. But really, this is by us, for us as military spouse entrepreneurs.
Latrice, I see your question. She said, can you repeat the hashtag? It's somewhere up there. This is blowing up. I don't know if you two can see the comment, but it's blowing up. So Latrice, the hashtag is hashtag MilSpouse.
Sorry, nice, loud and clear, Mama. What's our hashtag?
2021 MilSpouseBiz.
BIZ.
There you go. She put it in the Facebook. So if you're watching from LinkedIn, we can't comment to LinkedIn through the StreamYard platform we're on. So I will be getting in there and answering your questions a little bit later if you're coming from LinkedIn. It just doesn't let me comment to you through this platform. So
I can read them to you. Do you want me to read them to you?
I can see the comments. I don't
think we can answer.
Okay, so there's one actually that's on the Facebook that says, if they have multiple businesses, should we make separate profiles from each? And that's from Laura Lee Jane. And then Lindsay Moore replies to her and said, me too.
Me too.
Okay,
Yeah.
Laura Lee, if you have multiple businesses, the way you create an account at the chamber is through your own email and your own name. So you could create 2 accounts in the future, ... When Jamie, the IT department, figures out how to do it. I am going to be creating an internal military spouse chamber directory so that you, Laura Lee, could look up all the other military spouses in the Chamber of Commerce. If you want to feature just yourself and then that you own multiple businesses, you can do it that way. Or if you want to use separate email addresses, you can create 2 profiles for yourself. I would personally probably just want 1 login, and then you can change your punchline to say, you know, I'm Laura Lee, I own A business and B business, and then you can feature it that way. So either way you want, if you want to handle 2 profiles, you just have to use 2 separate email addresses.
Right. Yeah. And you know, you can always list your business on rosieslist.org too. It's free. So we'll be referencing back and forth Rosie's List. Yes, it's similar to Rosie's List. Somebody just
I was about to say, oh, Lindsay was the best, but she actually just asked.
Yeah. On Rosie's List,
directory,
military spouse.
yeah. The chamber directory will not be public. It's only going to be privately visible to other chamber members. I want to clarify that, so that if you want to support a fellow chamber member business or find somebody near you that's a fellow chamber member, you can. Rosie's List is already linked out in our platform, so we encourage you to use Rosie's List to do more public searches and things like that. But the chamber directory is an internal use only directory.
Yeah. And you got to join to get access to all of us and the amazing things that we're bringing to the table. Yeah. And I know without your checkbook, because the cost is 0. So if you want to invest in your business and invest in yourself and invest in each other, I think we forget that. Let's invest in each other. Then really the chamber, the MilSpouse Chamber is we're making the commitment to help do that, for us to help invest in your business. And if we all invest in each other, then we'll see a lot fewer businesses go by the wayside. And you don't have to be some big company. This can be just a side gig on your dining room table. I mean, a lot of businesses have started that way, right?
Mine started in my car.
Yeah, there's your car. Okay, that's a new one. I have never heard that. But it's for all of us, regardless of the type of business, as long as it's legal, and where you are in your process. So if you're really still in just the concept phase, you can still join the chamber and get all these tidbits and support and mentorship available to you. We, in our resource, Jamie mentioned earlier, we will have some tools in there that when I saw them, I was like, what? If I had this when I started my first business 30 years ago, I shudder to think what would have happened. So it's really worth it. Mm-hmm. It's worth it. And if for nothing else, in the connections, friends, and supporters that you'll find in the chamber. Yep. Any other questions, comments, or the calendar events? Go on the website, follow our social media. Where are we on social media, Jamie?
It's at MilSpouse Chamber, except for Twitter, because Twitter only gives you a certain amount of characters. So Twitter is MilSpo Chamber, at MilSpo Chamber.
Okay. All right. So
we are live to our Facebook page, and then up in the comments earlier, because there's been a ton of comments. They tagged the chamber too, so it's up there somewhere.
Thank you. Thank you. So we are leading into this brand new year, and this year, remember, spouses, it is the year of the military spouse entrepreneur. If you want a T-shirt that says that, let us know. We'll be getting T-shirts, all kinds of swag, because we all need good swag. And all of that will help support the mission to supporting you. So 2021, year of the military spouse entrepreneur. Get a join. Remember, we're giving away stickers, and these are great stickers. And read about the chamber in the Military Families magazine. Sign up, and they're awesome.
If you're working later, ask your questions anyway. I'll be monitoring the comments that come in later. And if you have questions, direct message me, drop it in the comments, and I'll be to be answering your questions, even if you missed the live and you're watching the replay.
And Beth, we're sorry we missed you today, but we know you were tuning in. And of course, you'll get to know Hannah Green. And if you want to support, get involved, then let us know. Reach out to us. Babette, Jamie, any last words as we let these amazing folks go and we launch this first of its kind, game-changing chamber? Any last words?
Buckle up.
Just thank you. Yeah, buckle up.
I love it. Buckle up, baby.
That's exactly how
All
I
right, thank
phrased
you
it.
so
But we're
much.
getting there.
Yeah. Thank you so much for tuning in. This chat blew up. We had so many comments, everybody. Thank you for watching. Thank you for your engagement, for your questions. Ask your questions later. Direct message me with your questions and buckle up. We'll see you soon.
Happy New Year. The year of the
Bye.
military
Happy New Year.
spouse entrepreneur.